I'm here with Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook. We're at the end of Davos, the end of the World Economic Forum at Davos. How was Davos for you this year?
Interesting. So I've been here before, so you can kind of feel the different moods, and I would say this was the most somber Davos I've been to.
How many have you been to?
I've been to 6, I believe, so 4 a long time ago when I was working in the Clinton government, and then last year. And during the Clinton years, there was a kind of Asian financial crisis, and I would say the mood then was not as up, but it was definitely, I think that, pessimism was constrained to one part of the economic sphere, which was really Asia and some of the Latin American countries.
Well, the NASDAQ was still way up then, so.
Yeah, the developed markets were fine. But here, I think this year, and other people have said this too, there's a real pessimism and I think concern. Where is the economy going to bottom out? What don't we understand?
This is your first Davos as a Facebook executive. Is it any different? Are people approaching you for different things, to talk about different things? What is this community giving you? What are you giving back to this community?
So at Facebook, we feel a lot of affinity for not just this community, but for any community that's trying to do what Davos is trying to do, which is, share information. Now, Davos is doing it in a particular way. I think the Facebook approach is, obviously more broad-based, trying to include everyone in the world, but the goal is the same: bring people together to share information, make the world more connected, and have people have a deeper understanding of themselves, others, the communities of which they want to be a part and can be a part. This has been a great year at Davos for Facebook. We've done a bunch of things, including some polls from the stage.
Yeah.
Which has been really
Randy
exciting.
Zuckerberg did a poll that had, what was it, like 500 responses in a matter of seconds or something?
Yeah, I think the most compelling thing we had is there was a panel here which was on the situation in Congress with the U.S. And the panelists were talking about the stimulus package. And with an assumption on the panel, if not stated, but the assumption was very clear that people were for it and it was passed. There's some tinkering to do. And Randy did a poll from the stage in 20 minutes. 120,000 responses, 70% of whom were against it.
Yeah.
And said, I don't believe in the stimulus package.
Yeah, and this was during the panel.
During the panel, real live, 120,000 responses. Now, it's not a representative full sampling of the U.S. population.
But
that's a lot of responses. Completely changed the panel. The panel then, we're talking about, wow, a lot of people are against this. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I think that's exciting.
That's pretty powerful,
Yeah, I mean, Davos is a pretty exclusive thing, and the voice of people who are not invited, while everyone's always trying to get it in here, I don't know how much you can do that.
Yeah, but you inserted it directly into a panel.
Yeah, in the times I've been here, the most direct kind of voice of the people I've seen inserted into a panel, so I think that was pretty exciting.
Was that an on-the-record panel that the video's up on the site? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'll find out, and I'll embed it if it is.
Yeah,
so,
but it's pretty exciting to take real people living in the real world, their opinion, and have people have to react to that, as opposed to their perceptions of what people are thinking, which are often very different.
So how was your first year at Facebook? We're coming up on the 1-year mark in March, right?
Coming up on the 1-year mark. It's been great. It's been great. It's Facebook is a really exciting place, trying to do something really important that I really believe in. That it matters. You go to different things, from users to marketers to people like Obama running for office, who really want to connect with people and want a more authentic way to communicate and to listen. And I think we are one of the forces, and in some ways the leading force, helping to provide that. And that's just a really exciting thing to be a part of.
How many users do you have now? 150 million?
150 million active.
But it's actually above that. You just don't announce it. Every few months.
We update it regularly.
Why does ComScore say 200 million people visit the site every month? Is it just ComScore's off, or?
So an active user for us is someone who comes every month.
Yeah.
At least once a month. I don't know exactly how ComScore is measuring it.
You realize it's like 1 in 5 people in the world that are on the internet visit Facebook.
So we have 4 and 5 more to go to get everyone connected. Joking aside, we want everyone in the world to be connected.
Yeah.
Through Facebook, through technology, not just through us, but we really believe in enabling people to be their authentic selves on the web, and enabling people to communicate directly with each other in a very personal way.
So, revenue. You own revenue in the company, is that right?
I definitely work on revenue and feel responsibility for revenue.
So what's monthly revenue now?
Oh, $3. $3.52,
what,
the precise number.
How do you feel about revenue? Where do you think the big growth opportunities are? Do you have any new products?
Yeah.
Micropayments for For the developers, anything like that that you're willing to talk about now?
No product announcements on this video. I know
Okay.
that will disappoint but not surprise you. But it's funny. A lot of people will say, "What's Facebook's business model?" I always find that a kind of funny question. In that our business model is out there, which is we monetize largely through advertising and a little bit through the gift revenue we have, the virtual gifts on our site. And I think those continue to be the most promising avenues going forward. I think what you will see from us, you've seen from us some last year, but you'll see a lot this year, are the evolution of the advertising products so that they can be more targeted for advertisers and provide useful interactions for users. And I think we're actually having a good year so far, good quarter, and looking forward to more growth.
So you have direct ad sales, you have a team, and then you have the self-serve ads. And
Online.
yeah, and we've actually looked at the self-serve ads quite a bit, and advertisers seem to love that. And you said you have virtual gifts, but what about that micropayments platform for developers? I mean, that's a way for you to make additional money, and they're begging for it.
Nothing to announce today.
Didn't you guys already announce it a year ago? Like in
Yeah, we did
June
do
or
that.
July?
We haven't updated that announcement, and part of being a startup is, you announce things, you try to get there, and
You're just
we
not.
did
Yeah,
announce
you're
it
not going to
came
give
in.
anything
Not
more on
gonna give
this.
anything
Yeah.
on this, other than $3.52,
They-
which was obviously a very specific announcement.
Give me one thing then. Give me more than 5,000 friends. This was promised to me
Personally,
of not a year ago, but close, and they're just piling up. The friend requests are just piling up, and I know it's only a small percentage of users have that need for more than 5,000 friends, but I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And when do I get that?
so I'm not going to give you a specific date, but I will reinforce the message that this is coming, and more importantly, tell you why we think it's important.
Yeah.
Because you have these friend requests because people genuinely want to hear from you and genuinely want to connect with you. And we're not providing that functionality, and we think that's important. So we are working on this, and we're working on it currently.
Okay. What do you
We
think
look
of?
forward to your having 80,000 friends, 100,000 friends.
I want to be friends with everyone that wants to be friends with TechCrunch. I don't know if they really want to be friends with me or if they want to be friends with TechCrunch, but I want to add everyone. Right now they're piling up. What do you think of your hotel? I forgot to ask you that in the beginning. I've asked everyone that. It's a 2-star hotel at a 5-star price.
Yeah, it's not the nicest hotel I've stayed at this year. I was a little scared at first because of the whole, I walked into the room, there was no bed.
So you have a Murphy bed?
I do have a Murphy
Yeah.
bed, but when you walk in, no one told you that. You're looking around for the bed.
There's no bed.
Feeling like hotel room,
There should
bed,
be a bed. Yeah.
core functionality, not
Yeah.
working. This is, not a bug, it's a feature. And then I thought I actually was opening closets and this bed came out, and that was a rather scary prospect. But once I put it down and figured out that the silver thing goes underneath, it's relatively flat, and I've slept pretty well. So
I find it amazing that they took all of us from Silicon Valley. We're all in the same hotel. The hotel has no Wi-Fi except like sort of sketchy Wi-Fi that costs 8 francs for 2 hours in the lobby, and that's it. So we're all, none of us are very happy.
So I was feeling bad about that until at lunch I spoke to someone who shall remain nameless who was in a youth hostel last year. Here.
Really?
Yeah, like a pretty senior, serious person. She was in a youth hostel last year.
What's
and
the worst-
all of a sudden I'm feeling good. About
What's
all of a sudden I'm
like? Did she
grateful.
not have her own room?
She had her own room, but it was like a youth hostel.
What's the worst place you've stayed in all of your trips here at Davos?
Oh, yeah, there was my first trip. As I literally stayed, and I think it was a hospital. So I was in this room.
And you weren't ill. It's just
No.
that was where you were assigned
It's
to.
kind of like the people on the floor look more like nurses than like housekeepers. And I'm kind of confused, and I got in at like 1 in the morning, so I wasn't quite sure, and I kind of went to sleep, and I woke up in the morning, and it looked hospital-like. There was like a cot, and I figured out it was, in fact, a hospital. And I was told I was very lucky to have received accommodation. So the Murphy
Yeah, they make
bed,
it clear that if you have a place here in town, you're very lucky.
there's no question.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people staying in other parts. So.
Yeah.
And my Murphy bed and I have gotten along quite well. We have one more night together. Then we're done, hopefully. For
All
at
right.
least a year, if not more.
Thank
So,
you very much for your time.
Thank you.
When are you raising another round of funding?
$3.52.
No answer to that.
No answer to that.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mike.